for another guy who's doing a normal nail installation, and in 3 or 4 square, he already broke 5 or 6 slate.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now multiply that over 280 square.
Mm-hmm.
Holy smoke!
Yes, it's a big savings. Labor is, and then the materials. You just don't have the problems as the old-fashioned installation goes. And of course, not only is the labor savings, but you have a savings on the quantity of nails, copper or stainless, whichever,
Yep.
to hold the slate down. So.
Yeah, half the number of nails instead of 2 nails per slate, 1 nail per slate.
Right. Yep. Yep.
France has hooked stuff for almost 100 years.
Oh, really?
And they consume 30+% of all the slate in the world.
I did not know that.
So it's a proven system.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, what we did, we actually had to, we took a sheet of 4x8 nail base.
Okay.
And we used some of the existing slate that we had torn off from a certain area, and we did a section with reusing the existing slate, and then we did a section with new slate.
Okay.
And both of them were with the hook systems. And as soon as you get 15 feet away, the hooks just disappear. They're I guess painted or coated in the black, so they just virtually disappear. And so I mean, and they approved it instantly because you can't see it at all.
So now they've come out and done more inspections and they've still been happy with it.
I was out on the sites as the crew had maybe 5, 6, 7 squares installed as they were just starting, and the developer Tom Dickey, project manager Scott Waters, and the review committee from the city of Richmond were all out on site as they were walking through and looking over the whole project as a whole. And as I'm out there, I'm talking to my crew foreman, and I see him walk out, and Tom and Scott walk over to me, and we're just talking, and they're all saying how good they like it and how nice it looks, and it's wonderful to see it going back on. And I'm watching the faces on all the review committee of the city of Richmond people, and everybody's just turning and looking and just smiling and beaming at how good it looks, So, I'm a little more particular, and so I'm working with my crew, pointing out things that I want him to spend a little more attention to and whatnot. And after I see everybody else just smiling and beaming at how good the job looks, I'm going, well, maybe I'm being a little too picky. So, but everybody's been happy, everybody's been complimentary. Nobody has had one negative comment towards what's going on now.
Now, because you were able to reclaim the slate, it helped the developer, or there was some kind of incentive versus if he had done only new slate? I mean, there was a benefit that you brought to the job.
It's a financial benefit.
Okay.
It allows them to retain the existing look of the buildings, other than, everything is going to look a little more crisp, cleaner lines. The slate that we tore off, we took the time to separate it by size and color after it had come down in pallets. And we're trimming the oddball sizes that don't necessarily work with the QWIK Slate dimensions,
Okay.
and installing those. And we're also trying to get the colors to be either more of a blend as they go back, or completely do different sections if we have enough of a solid color, because that whole project had been so ragtag, patched up. There were holes right through the roof when we started. So, we had some very solidly black slate. We had some green slates. We had some, older, just gray slate. And as we're pulling it down, we palletized it and organized it and got it all by size and color, and it's doing well going back.
Now most of the slates all being reused, or a large percentage, good percentage, and then that saves the developer, plus it pleases the historical people.
Yes.
Because you're reusing and it saves on all the landfill. And
Yes, yeah. We're right now. At first, we thought we were going to have somewhere between 80 and 85% salvaged.
okay.
But it looks more like we're going to end up with, if I had to speculate right now, 65 to 70% salvage on the job.
Okay.
A lot of that has to do with the condition of the roof decking and the install nails that were used, because the slate just came up so easy.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were just taking their hammer, lifting it, and then just lifting it right up. There was no prying, no heavy effort or anything to get it up.
So on this job, you had a wood deck that you had to do a lot of repair to.
Yes.
And then did you have to put something over the wood deck before you got a surface that you nailed the slate to?
Yes, we had to replace 2x decking on the existing substrate, and then we put 4-inch nail base.
Okay.
So it's a,
And
5
there's
inch
a
OSB.
plywood or OSB on top of the nail
Yes,
base.
and that's what we're nailing to. Yeah.
But it's not a ventilated nail base, just a regular nail
Correct,
base.
just a solid nail base. Yeah,
All
they're
right.
putting in their own venting through low-profile gravity vents and whatnot.
Okay. Any other particular things about the job that either the GC or the owner, kind of likes after they've seen the job going on? I mean, has there been a labor savings, I guess, for you two on the installation?
There is a labor savings. I recognized that when I was investigating the system, that it would go on much quicker. Just this morning, as a matter of fact, the crew leader came in and said that he's installing it at roughly twice the speed of regular slate.
That's huge.
Yes. However, going in and bidding the job, I had no real foundation to go on.
Right.
So when I was bidding and talking to the crews originally and looking over the system, we came up with an understanding as to what we would do, and I did have to offer the developer a savings on the install if QWIK Slate was approved. Unfortunately, dealing with a government agency, it just took forever to get it approved, and started putting us a little behind the 8 ball, but we rapidly got past that.
So the nice thing is because of the labor savings, it's got you back on track with your production calendar.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. We're actually wishing the whole process, the whole development would move quicker.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but there's a lot of flat roofing to go along with the slate that's keeping us busy. But on a renovation project, as you all know, there's unknowns that creep up. And that's what's slowing the whole process down. Well, with the QWIK Slate, it's obviously quicker. It's a cost savings on labor. I believe it would be a cost savings on actual material, because the waste factor is greatly reduced due to the fact that you don't have to worry about mishitting your nail and busting your slate. You don't have to worry about your crew overdriving the nails, which causes your slate to pop when they walk on it. It's the biggest thing is it's so easy.
You're able to keep everything nice and straight. A
Yes.
lot of times people think that if you're using a hook, you're not able to, or might, go off to one side or the other. Your job seems to be very, very straight.
As long as the reclaimed slate is consistent in size and matches up to the size of the QWIK Slate hook placements, everything will go great. We are popping lines every row, sometimes every other row. It depends on the substrate area that we're coming up to.
So that's your horizontal. And how often are you doing your verticals?
Not very.
Okay.
Once we get going on that, it's simple to make sure they're lining up, because the hooks need to line up with your keyway right below. So it's a very easy, bond lines are,
nice and straight.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and on that run, we have approximately the entire building is, I want to say, pushing 300 plus feet long, and that's why we're popping lines so often, because over that course of a run, if you go 1/8 of an inch, it telegraphs huge.
Yep.
Well, I'm anxious to really get out and start to push the QWIK Slate product. I think that it's going to allow more people to retain slate on their projects. Whether it's a municipal entity or educational facility or whatever the case may be.
With your experience now with this, do you think architects that may be being involved with a historical project or something like that, do you think they'd be more receptive to this newer idea of a hooked installation rather than the traditional?
Well, I certainly do. The fact that I would challenge anyone to go out to this job site and look at it upon completion, and without magnifying glasses or binoculars to identify the hooks.
I love it.
You know, you just can't see them.
Right.